cast your bread upon the waters. You've heard this verse quoted at business seminars and motivational conferences, but nobody tells you what Solomon actually means. And when you understand it, it's going to wreck your entire approach to life. Because Ecclesiastes 11 is about to tell you that inaction is more dangerous than risk, uncertainty is no excuse for paralysis, and if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never do anything. This is Solomon's final call to action before he drops the mic with chapter 12. And if you've been playing it safe, waiting for guarantees, or postponing bold moves until everything's certain, you're about to get uncomfortable. Let's go. Ecclesiastes 11:1. Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. Cast your bread upon the waters. What does that even mean? In ancient times, this was about maritime trade. You load your ships with goods, send them across dangerous waters to foreign ports, and hope they return with profit. You might lose everything. Pirates, storms, shipwrecks, all risks. But if you never send the ships out, you definitely won't profit. Solomon's saying, take the risk, launch the venture, make the investment, do the thing even though you can't guarantee the outcome. Why? For after many days you will find it again. Eventually, not immediately, but eventually, your risk pays off, but only if you actually took the risk. How many of you are sitting on bread, resources, talents, opportunities, ideas, because you're afraid to cast it upon the waters? You're waiting for perfect conditions. You're waiting for guaranteed returns. You're waiting for zero risk. And Solomon's saying, you'll wait forever. The perfect moment never comes. Launch anyway. Verse 2. Divide your portion among 7 or even 8, for you do not know what disaster may befall the land. Diversify. Don't put all your bread on one ship. Send 7 ships, or even 8. Why? Because you don't know what disaster might happen. One ship might sink, but if you sent 8 ships, 7 might return. If you only sent one ship and it sinks, you lose everything. This is risk management wisdom. Don't be reckless, be strategic. Take multiple risks across multiple ventures so that when, not if, some fail, others succeed. You can't predict disaster, so spread your bets. Verse 3-4. If the clouds are full, they will pour out rain upon the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. He who watches the wind will fail to sow, and he who observes the clouds will fail to reap. Here's the gut punch. He who watches the wind will fail to sow. If you're constantly checking conditions, waiting for the perfect moment, you'll never plant. He who observes the clouds will fail to reap. If you're always analyzing, always calculating, always waiting for certainty, you'll never harvest because you never planted. The farmer who waits for perfect weather never plants. The entrepreneur who waits for perfect market conditions never launches. The person who waits for perfect relationships never loves. The believer who waits for perfect clarity never obeys. Watching and waiting guarantees nothing gets done. Yes, the tree might fall south or north. You can't control it. Yes, the clouds might bring rain or not. You can't predict it. So what? Act anyway. Because inaction is a choice that guarantees failure. Verse 5. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the bones are formed in the womb of a pregnant woman, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. You don't understand how wind moves. You don't understand how a baby forms in the womb. And you definitely don't understand God's work. So stop waiting to understand everything before you act. You're never going to have complete knowledge. You're never going to see the full picture. You're never going to understand God's plan perfectly. And that's okay. You can act without complete understanding. You can move forward without total certainty. You can trust God without having all the answers. Verse 6. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening do not let your hands be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or if both will equally prosper. Sow in the morning. Sow in the evening. Don't stop working. Why? Because you don't know which effort will succeed. Maybe the morning seed grows. Maybe the evening seed grows. Maybe both grow. But you'll never find out if you don't sow both. This is the opposite of analysis paralysis. This is action despite uncertainty. This is doing everything you can because you can't predict which effort will pay off. Some of you are waiting to know which seed will grow before you plant. Solomon says, "Plant them all and let God decide which grows." Now verses 7 to 10 shift to something urgent, something that should terrify anyone wasting their youth. Verse 7 to 8, "Light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. So if a man lives many years, let him rejoice in them all. But let him remember the days of darkness, for they will be many. Everything to come is futile. Life is sweet, being alive is a gift. If you live many years, rejoice in them. But remember, darkness is coming, many days of darkness. Death is coming, disability is coming, decline is coming. Everything to come is futile if you waste the time you have now." Verse 9 to 10, "Rejoice, O young man, while you are young, and let your heart be glad in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and in the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these things God will bring you to judgment. So banish sorrow from your heart and cast off pain from your body, for youth and vigor are fleeting. Rejoice, O young man, while you are young." This is a command, not maybe consider enjoying youth. Rejoice, let your heart be glad. Walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. Live, experience, act. But, and this is crucial, know that for all these things God will bring you to judgment. Live fully, but live responsibly. Enjoy life, but don't sin recklessly. Take risks, but fear God. This isn't license for foolishness. It's permission for joy within God's boundaries. Banish sorrow from your heart and cast off pain from your body. Don't carry unnecessary burdens. Don't waste your youth being miserable. Don't let anxiety steal your best years. Why? For youth and vigor are fleeting. You don't stay young forever. You don't stay strong forever. Use it while you have it. Here's what you need to understand. Ecclesiastes 11 is Solomon's urgent call to action. After 10 chapters of analyzing everything under the sun, after proving that wealth, pleasure, wisdom, and achievement are all vapor, now he's saying, so act, live, risk, move, do something before it's too late. The person who waits for perfect conditions never plants. The person who demands certainty before acting never acts. The person who postpones living until everything's figured out never lives. And when you're old, when youth and vigor are gone, you won't regret the risks you took. You'll regret the risks you didn't take. Here's what you need to do this week. What's your bread that you haven't cast upon the waters? What venture, relationship, obedience, or risk have you postponed because you're waiting for guarantees? Cast it, launch it, do it, because watching the wind guarantees you'll never sow. And if you're young, if you still have energy, health, and time, stop wasting it. Stop living like you have forever. Stop being paralyzed by fear of failure. Stop waiting for perfect clarity before you obey God. Rejoice in your youth. Walk boldly. Take risks. Live fully. Because youth and vigor are fleeting, and you're burning daylight. Solomon spent 10 chapters showing you what doesn't satisfy. Now he's telling you, don't let that knowledge paralyze you. Let it free you. You're not risking everything for vapor. You're risking temporal things for eternal obedience. So cast your bread, sow your seed, live your life before it's too late. Subscribe, because the next video is chapter 12, Solomon's final word, the conclusion to this entire journey. And it's going to make every chapter before it makes sense. You're not ready, but you need to hear it. Thanks for watching.